Hey guys, welcome to the WHAT-IFS channel. Today, we are going to start a new fanfic. What if Kushina Uzumaki became dark? If you like the fanfic, press the like button, subscribe in our channel, and share to your friends. As this video is the first of our channel, it is important to say that I would like to differentiate my fanfics. For example, my fanfics, at least the vast majority of them, will not be focused on Naruto, but on other characters. In my opinion, they should have more fanfics focused on other characters that would have great potential in canonical history, such as Itachi, Shisui, Kushina, Hinata and several others. I know that this is very different, and may even bother, but if you give a chance for the story, I'm sure you will like it, and it is important to note that all fanfics in this channel are legitimately of my creation. Now, let's start the video. It was yet another peaceful and calm day in Konoha, and as the sun was starting to rise on the horizon, the citizens of Konoha were already awake, some like shop owners, bar owners, and Shinobi once again starting their training routine. On that day, two people in specific were very happy. We can see one of these people walking on the streets of Konoha. It was a woman, with long red hair, and she had a big smile on her face. Her most striking feature is her belly, because she was pregnant, and on that day she would give birth to a baby. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki. And at that moment she was walking towards her best friend Makoto Uchiha's house. Kushina could be very happy about her pregnancy, but she was also very nervous and worried. Questions like, will childbirth hurt? Will I be a good mother? Questions like this were going through Kushina's mind, so she would be going to Makoto, because Makoto, besides having a child already at the age of 6, she also had one more child, a small baby no more than a year old. Knowing this, Kushina thinks that Makoto can help with her doubts about her pregnancy, before giving birth to her baby. Now elsewhere in Konoha village, more specifically in the Hokage's tower, we see the other person who was quite happy too. It was a man, with blonde hair that went up to his shoulder, blue eyes, and had a white cloak, with red fire details at the bottom. And just like Kushina, he also had a big smile on his face. His name was Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato. And right next to him we see another man, an old man. He seemed to have a lack of hair, due to advanced age, and had a lot of marks on his face. He also had a white cloak, but this being longer and wider, with a red robe underneath. He also seemed to have a happy face. His name is Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage and predecessor of Minato. The two were working on the big paperwork that seemed to appear out of nowhere in their desks all the time. This is certainly the biggest enemy of any Kage present in the 5 elemental nations, but even with a lot of work, the two could only think of one thing, the birth of Kushina and Minato's baby. But even with the birth of this baby, Minato and Hiruzen were a little worried, because the pregnancy was very risky. Not because Kushina has some kind of disease and neither baby too, but to the fact that Kushina is the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, the 9-tailed fox. And when a female Jinchuriki begins to give birth to her baby, the seal that holds the Biju in their bodies tends to weaken, and with that the Biju can use this moment to try to escape. So Minato, Hiruzen and the Council of Konoha made a countermeasure, to prevent the fox from breaking free and causing destruction. Unfortunately, they were not aware of the great tragedy that will take place in a few hours. Now we are going to time skip to the baby's birth. Well, it was definitely not what the Kushina expected it to be. It was difficult, it was painful, it was agonizing. Ah, oh my fucking god, Minato, I will kill you. Ah, for the love of Raikudo Sennin, why this shit doesn't end soon. Ah, Minato, I'm so fucking going to kill you. Kushina said. Kushina, please calm down, shut the fuck up. Ah, Kushina said, interrupting Minato. Seriously Minato, why you had to get me pregnant? Ah. Oh my god, I can't feel my legs. Ah. I will never have another child. Ah. Minato was sweating heavily. He's never seen Kushina as stressed as she is now, although it's justifiable. Lady Kushina, just one more push, said the nurse. Let's go, along with me, Lady Kushina. In 3, 2, 1, now. Ah. With that, there is a brief moment of silence in the room. After a few seconds, we can hear a baby cry. Was there, finally, Kushina's baby, whose name is Naruto Uzumaki, was born. Even with all the stress that the Kushina had felt moments ago, it totally disappeared, hearing the magnificent and fluffy cry of a baby. After a few more seconds of catching her breath, Kushina was finally able to see and carry her beloved son. Minato was perplexed. In front of him was the most beautiful and cutest thing he could ever see in his entire life, a beautiful blonde baby, with curious 6 marks on his face, 3 on each cheek, like a fox. Soon Minato begins to shed tears, along with Kushina. This was the couple's happiest moment, they could finally have a family of their own. Luckily, during the birth, Minato managed to stabilize the Kushina seal enough so that the fox didn't come out right away, but there was still work to be done to actually protect the village from the fox again. When Minato was going to completely remake Kushina's seal, suddenly the nurses who were present at the scene fall to the ground, completely lifeless. It was all in the blink of an eye, and as Kushina was very exhausted due to childbirth, she couldn't protect Naruto, who was caught by a masked man. Mr. Hokage, I suggest you stay away from the Jinchuriki or else your son dies, said the masked man. Oh, okay, fine, but please don't touch my son, let's calm down, said Minato almost in panic. I am perfectly calm, dear Yondaime-sama, said the masked man. With that said, he launches Naruto that was in his arms into the air, takes out a kunai from his pocket and aims it straight at the helpless baby. Minato, save our son, Kushina said in tears. However, Minato was not known for being the yellow flash for nothing. Instantly, Minato takes Naruto in his arms and dodges the kunai aimed at Naruto. You are really fast, right, Yondaime? But you can't save them both, said the masked man, making a hand seal. As he does so, explosive seals begin to appear on the small outfit that Naruto was wearing. Minato didn't even have time to think, all he could do was get out of the place he was in and quickly remove Naruto's explosive seals before it exploded. But the place ends up exploding, leaving Kushina behind, so the masked man manages to kidnap her. Minato uses the Hiraishin and appears at a shelter, ensuring the safety of his baby. Meanwhile, the masked man makes some hand seals and extracts the Kyuubi from Kushina, who screams in pain. After that, the masked man activates his Mengiku Sharingan and takes control of Kyuubi. With that, he makes an order. Kyuubi, destroy the village of Konoha. Kyuubi gives a great roar that echoes through mountains, and starts moving towards the village. Why did you do that? What's your problem? Kushina said, breathing heavily, still feeling a lot of pain. My reasons are none of your business, Kushina, said the masked man. Soon he goes after Kushina with the intention of killing her. But in a flash, Minato appears and rescues Kushina, and leaves her in the same shelter where Naruto was. Kushina, stay here and take care of our son, the village needs me, said Minato, again disappearing in a flash. While this was happening, Kyuubi was already in front of Konoha, causing destruction and death wherever he went. Seeing this, Minato approaches the Biju, makes some hand seals, and shouts, Kuchiyose no Jutsu. With that, there was a big explosion of smoke, and a strange shadow appears and falls on top of the Kyuubi. A few seconds later, a big toad appears. Was Gamabunta, the leader of the toads. Minato, why did you summon me? Said Gamabunta. Gamabunta-sama, please help me to temporarily contain Kyuubi so I can seal the Biju again, said Minato. Kyuubi, where is he? Gamabunta questioned. It took a few seconds for the big toad to realize he was sitting on top of the Biju. Oh man, this battle is going to be tough, Gamabunta said, already unsheathing his sword that he carries with him. Gamabunta makes a big jump and spins in the air, making a maneuver to come face to face with Kyuubi. Minato uses Hiraishin to teleport to the Hokage monument. Minato would start his sealing jutsu on the Biju, but he sees that Kyuubi was creating a Baijudama to launch in the village. Oh god, if this makes it to Konoha, there will be nothing left, said Minato, already starting some hand seals. Using a space-time ninjutsu, before the Baijudama hits the Hokage's monument, the jutsu begins to cover the Baijudama. Minato makes a hand seal, so the attack is sent away from Konoha. Minato tries to start sealing the biju, but as he starts, he feels a presence behind him. With a quick movement, Minato looks back and sees that it was the same masked man as before. With a kunai, he tries to cut the person behind him. But to his surprise, the kunai goes through the masked man's body, and not only that, he manages to surprise Minato and grab his wrist. With that, Minato begins to be pulled into a strange space-time vortex that the masked man had created. Before being pulled fully, Minato quickly uses Hiraishin and manages to retreat. Minato goes back to the place where Kushina gave birth. To his surprise again, the masked man appears on the spot through the same space-time vortex he used earlier. Meanwhile in Konoha, everything was in chaos, people had died, houses were destroyed. Gamabunta was still fighting the Kyuubi, but he couldn't do much, the tailed beast was simply too powerful for him. Hiruzen and the Anbu squads were already doing their jobs, other shinobi were also helping to evacuate citizens to shelters. Hiruzen, seeing that Kyuubi was very close, he makes some hand seals and says, "Kuchiyose no jutsu." A small explosion of smoke appears, and from there appears the monkey Emma. "Hiruzen, what is the situation?" said Emma. "Emma-sama, Konoha is being attacked by the Kyuubi, the nine-tailed fox, so I need your help," said Hiruzen. "Understood," said Emma, and right after that it turns into a big staff. Hiruzen takes the staff and stretches it until it reaches Kyuubi, in an attempt to drive the biju away from the village. Now with Minato, the Hokage starts questioning the masked man in front of him. "Who really are you and what is your goal here?" said Minato. "My name, Yondaime-sama, is Madara Uchiha," said the masked man, now identified as Madara. "What? That shouldn't be possible, hadn't Shodime-sama killed him in the Valley of the End many years ago? But if he is indeed Madara Uchiha, then I need to fight with everything I got, to defeat him," said Minato in his mind. "My goal, Lord Hokage, is simply, I want to steal Kyuubi for me, and destroy Konoha," Madara said, already getting into a fighting stance. "I'm sorry to disappoint you, Madara, you won't have the Kyuubi, not even destroy Konoha." As in the original story, Minato deduces that the winner of the fight will be the one who is the fastest. Minato throws another kunai at Madara. As before, the kunai goes through Madara's body as if he were a ghost. Quickly, Minato runs, now standing just inches in front of Madara. He makes a Rasengan in his right hand, waiting for the exact moment to use Hiraishin. Said and done, Minato teleports above Madara, and with one move he hits the Rasengan right in Madara's back, dealing massive damage. Not only that, he also left a seal of the Hiraishin on Madara's back, and quickly jumped out of the way. "Damn, it seems I underestimated you, Yondaime." Madara tries to run away, but Minato quickly teleports in front of Madara. He places his hand on Madara's chest, and activates a Fuinjutsu. "A seal of contract? You intend to take the Kyuubi out of my control, you bastard," said Madara furiously. "It's like I told you before, Madara, you won't have the Kyuubi, you won't even destroy Konoha," said Minato. Madara quickly walks away from the Hokage, trying to catch his breath. "This is not the end yet, fourth Hokage. Kyuubi will be mine, and your village will fall," said Madara, breathing heavily. He begins to disappear into a space-time vortex again, leaving Minato alone in the place. "Now it's time to end it," said Minato using Hiraishin. This is where the difference from the original story begins. When Minato appears in the shelter where Naruto and Kushina were, he finds both of them sleeping in the bed. Naruto sleeping peacefully, while Kushina fainted from great exhaustion. "What should I do? If I seal Kyuubi in Kushina, with her in this state, I fear her body won't be able to take it. I have no other option. I will split Kyuubi into two parts. One half I will seal in Naruto, while the other half I will seal in Kushina. I believe with half the power of the Kyuubi, Kushina could handle it. You too, Kushina, Naruto. Forgive me, because I will no longer be in your lives," said Minato, letting some tears fall. He does a Kujibushin and catches them both. And he takes them to a open place and drop them on two different altars, with Kushina a few meters to the left, and Naruto a few meters to the right. They were close to the Kyuubi, who was being restrained by Gamabunta, who managed to find an opening and trapped the Biju. Seeing this, Minato quickly makes hand seals and says, Shiki Fujin, seal of the Shinigami god. With the jutsu ready, Minato quickly splits the Kyuubi's chakra into two parts. The first he seals in Naruto. My son, be strong. Never give up. I believe you will be a great shinobi in the future. And don't worry. Your mother will be here to take care of you. Forgive me, my son, said Minato, letting more tears fall. He continues the sealing, and begins sealing the second half of the chakra in Kushina. However, he sees that Kyuubi managed to get rid of Gamabunta. Minato, I'm at my limit, I'm sorry, said Gamabunta, disappearing in a burst of smoke. Damn, I don't have the strength to protect Naruto and Kushina anymore, said Minato, breathing heavily. Kyuubi sees he was being sealed away again. Trying to stop this, the Biju uses one of his claws and tries to impale Kushina, who was closer to the Biju. Minato only had time to run while he completed the sealing. The Kyuubi's remaining chakra began to be sealed in Kushina, but that didn't stop the tailed beast from still continuing his attack. Minato only had one option. He throw himself in front of Kushina and receive the blow. The claw pierces right into the heart of Minato. Goodbye Kushina, goodbye Naruto. Minato only had time to say these words, before falling to the ground, dead. Kyuubi was already almost completely sealed in Kushina. As a last attempt to break free, Kyuubi tries to aim a small Bijudama at Kushina. However, the Biju can't aim at Kushina and ends up shooting right next to her. Even though the attack missed her, the attack still had the force of impact to injure and throw her body a few kilometers away, out of Konoha. Kushina's body ends up being thrown into a small forest nearby. She ends up falling hard to the ground. With her body rolling through the forest, she receives cuts, heavy blows and several broken bones. In the end, she ends up falling into a nearby river, with her body being carried away by the river's flow. After a few minutes, Hiruzen and a squad of Anbis arrive at the scene. Hiruzen, seeing the Minato's body on the ground, falls to his knees and sheds a few tears. Everyone who was present at the place was sad, due to the loss of the dear fourth Hokage. Minato was considered a hero of Konoha and was well liked by the citizens. After recovering, Hiruzen also sees a large crater. When approaching, the third Hokage sees a piece of clothing in the middle of the crater. As he takes a closer look at the clothes, Hiruzen realizes that that piece of clothing belonged to Kushina. Soon Hiruzen thinks the worst has happened. Oh no, Minato is dead and now Kushina is dead too. Forgive me Minato, Kushina. I failed you. If only I had managed to arrive earlier, said Hiruzen, now with more tears in his eyes. But suddenly everyone starts to hear a baby cry. An Anbu finds the direction of the noise and warns Hiruzen. Sandaime-sama, I found the baby, said the Anbu. This is who I'm imagining who is, said Hiruzen, now running towards the baby. Reaching the baby, Hiruzen is relieved to see that the baby is okay. So this is little Naruto. He is so precious and looks so much like Minato, said Hiruzen. He also sees that there was a seal on Naruto's belly, and soon he realizes that Minato had sealed Kyuubi in Naruto. Without parents, and being a Jinchuriki, Naruto's life will be harsh and cruel, said Hiruzen, now with a sad face. A few days later, Hiruzen, the elders, the Shinobi Council, with all clan leaders, the Civil Council, with Konoha's most influential citizens. Everyone was in a big meeting to discuss the events that had taken place days ago. At that meeting, Hiruzen didn't say that Naruto was the son of Minato and Kushina. However, he had no choice but to say that Naruto was Kyuubi's new Jinchuriki. Such a revelation leaves everyone present shocked and hesitant. Well, at least the Shinobi Council and the elders. But the Civil Council was trembling with fear and hatred. I say we kill this demon now, said a member of the Civil Council. I also agree Sandaime-sama, we should kill him before the fox frees himself again, said another member of the Civil Council. With that, several members begin to manifest disorganizedly. Hiruzen slams his hands on the table hard and says with authority, "Silence." Everyone present was instantly quiet. "I will not tolerate such behavior in this meeting. Did you all understand?" said Hiruzen, raising some of his chakra. Everyone speaks at the same time. "Hi Hokage-sama." "Good. Now regarding Naruto Uzumaki. The baby will not be executed, and that is not a matter for the civil council to decide. Only the elders and the Shinobi council can decide this by a majority vote. But I don't think they want to do that, right?" said Hiruzen. All Shinobi council members and elders nod in agreement with Hiruzen. "Hokage-sama, may I ask you a question?" said Shikaku Nara, leader of the Nara clan. "Go ahead Shikaku-san," said Hiruzen. "The seal that Naruto has. It's safe," said Shikaku. "It is certainly safe Shikaku-san. Minato was one of the best seal masters that ever lived," said Hiruzen. "Oh troublesome. If that's the case, then we have nothing to fear," said Shikaku yawning. "You and your lazy attitude are a pain in the ass," said Inoichi Yamanaka, leader of the Yamanaka clan. Making a time skip, the meeting continued normally, involving several subjects and negotiations. With that, the meeting is over, and Hiruzen heads to his house to reflect on everything that has happened. Unfortunately, Hiruzen was unaware of the evil plan that some members of the civil council, along with Danzo, who is one of the elders, were making. Now in a city far away from Konoha. Cough, 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 cough. "Oh. Huh. Where I am," Kushina said, trying to get up. Only to find that every part of her body was sore. "Ouch. Ow. 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 Damn, what did I do to deserve this?" Kushina said, grunting in pain. Kushina tries to get up again. But this time, a woman appears at the scene and stops her. "Whoa. Take it easy Lady Kushina, your body still hasn't recovered from the state it was in before." Kushina's vision was still blurred. Then she blinks a few times. When her vision returns, Kushina looks at the face of the woman in front of her, and is very surprised to see who she is. "Huh. Shizune. What are you doing here? And where I am?" said Kushina, very confused by her situation. "Lady Kushina, please calm down. Soon the Lady Tsunade will arrive here and will answer your questions." As much as Kushina was curious, the wisest decision would be to wait for Tsunade to arrive. Then Kushina starts to breathe deeply and slowly to calm her nerves. Shizune offers a glass of water with pills. "Lady Kushina, drink this. Will relieve pain and speed up your recovery," said Shizune, handing over the cup and pills. "Thank you Shizune," said Kushina. After a few minutes, Tsunade appears in the room the two were in, with a bottle of sake in her hands. "Hey Kushina, how are you feeling?" Tsunade said as she sipped her sake bottle. "Honestly, I feel like the Hokage monument has been thrown at me," Kushina said. "I understand. Even because when we found you, your condition was terrible. I honestly don't know how you survived with so much damage to your body," Tsunade said. "Was I that bad?" said Kushina. Tsunade sighs. "Shizune, get Kushina's diagnostic report and inform her," order Tsunade. "Hi Lady Tsunade," said Shizune as she takes the report. Shizune clears his throat and starts talking. "Fractured skull. Had all ribs broken. Severely damaged vocal cords. Damaged ears. All lower and upper limbs broken. Internal bleeding in multiple organs." "What the fuck?" was all Kushina managed to say, still in shock after hearing all the damage she'd received in her body. "How did I survive?" Kushina asks. Tsunade brings her hand up to her chin in thought. "Well, I think it was a combination of factors that made you survive Kushina," Tsunade said. "First, me and Shizune were treating you at the same time. Second, I used some of the Byakugo's power on you. Third, I think the Uzumaki's special chakra you have also helped. And fourth, the Kyuubi's chakra also helped to regenerate your body. In fact, I think that was what was keeping you alive until we found you," Tsunade said. Wait. How did Kyuubi chakra help me? The Biju was taken from me," Kushina said, but Tsunade kept quiet. "And speaking of which, where are my husband and my son?" Please tell me they are okay. Kushina said with worried eyes. Tsunade and Shizune look at each other for a moment. Very good. Kushina, I will be frank and direct with you. Tsunade said, while Kushina showed even more concern. Luckily, that day I had sent Katsuyu to Konoha, responding to the doctor's call. She was able to witness it all and she sent me a detailed report of what happened, but I'll skip to what you need to know. The masked man, that man who attacked you, identified himself as Madara Uchiha. Said Tsunade as Kushina turns pale. But that this is not possible. Said Kushina as she trembled slightly. I don't like the direction this story is taking. Said Kushina in thought. Madara took control of the Kyuubi and tried to destroy Konoha. But Minato managed to make Madara retreat and also removed Kyuubi from Madara's control. Tsunade said. Oh, thank God. Kushina said a little relieved. Oh no, the rest of the story will break Kushina. Tsunade said in thought. Now how your body was very weakened at the time. Minato couldn't seal all the Kyuubi in you, otherwise the Biju could escape the seal. Then Minato split the Kyuubi's chakra into two parts, one part he sealed in Naruto, and the other part he sealed in you. But it was not just any seal that he used. Tsunade said. What do you mean with? Oh no, please tell me he didn't use the jutsu. Said Kushina starting to shed tears. Yes. Kushina, he used the Shikifujin. However, while the Kyuubi was being sealed, it tried to attack you to kill you. And seeing this, Minato could only run in front of you and take the attack for you, dying in the process. At the last second before the Kyuubi was sealed into you, he tried to launch an attack on you. He didn't hit you, but he hit right next to you, lifting your body for miles away. That explains why we found you on the bank of a nearby river. While we were treating your wounds, I sent Katsuyu again to see what she found. And there she found that after 2 days, you were declared dead by the council. And no, if you are thinking about going back to Konoha now, it will only make your situation worse, Kushina. Because if you come back now, you'll be under the will of the council. I don't think they want anyone getting in the way of their plans. They declared you dead after 2 days. This is not only strangely fast, they also had no proof of your actual death. They must have taken advantage of Sarutobi-sensei's lack of attention. So because of that, basically you have legally lost the right to be Naruto's mother. Tsunade said, looking sad. Kushina, upon hearing this, loses her world. Her eyes lose all their sparkle, becoming empty. Kushina could only silently shed tears. Her spirit was broken. Seeing this heartbreaking scene, Shizune and Tsunade hug Kushina, trying to lessen the pain that mother was feeling. After long agonizing minutes for Kushina, she finally starts talking. I just wanted to have a family. I just wanted to find true love and have my child. I wanted to raise my son, teach him everything I know. I wanted to tell him every night before bed that I love him so much. And now all this has been taken from me. Why? What did I do to deserve all this? Kushina's words were so sad and so hopeless, they made Tsunade and Shizune cry too. While the two are hugging Kushina, she inadvertently looks at Shizune's shoulders, who was dressed in Junin uniform. Kushina's eyes are looking directly at the Uzumaki clan symbol present on the uniform. After a few seconds of staring intently at the symbol, something clicks in her mind. Wait, no, I can still have hope. Kushina said with a new glint in her eyes. What do you mean, Lady Kushina? Shizune asks. Don't tell me you're going to Konoha now. Tsunade said. No, not now. But I have a plan, and I'm going to get my son back. Kushina said with determination. And what plan would that be? Shizune asks. I will use the name and law referring to the Uzumaki clan. Said Kushina. I remember that, it was present in the Senju clan too. Really can work, but you'll need concrete evidence, Kushina. Tsunade said. I know that, and I already know where to start. Kushina said, getting up and starting to leave the room. Wait, Kushina, are you planning to leave now? Tsunade asks. Yes, Tsunade, the sooner the better. But thank you for everything you've done for me, Shizune, Tsunade. Kushina said, bowing. You don't need to thank me, Kushina, but can I ask for something in return? Tsunade asks. Of course, Tsunade. Kushina said in agreement. Keep in touch with me, Kushina. And well, as I think you don't want to raise Naruto in Konoha, I know a very special place. So when you get custody of Naruto, come to me so I can show you. Tsunade said. Understood, I will do that. Now I need to go. The place I need to go is far from here, said Kushina as she walked to the door. Oh wait, Lady Kushina. Put on this black cloak and this mask to cover your face. If you've been declared dead, when someone sees you walking around and recognizes you, they'll let Konoha know, and I don't think that's a good thing. Well, at least not now, said Shizune. You're right, Shizune, thank you. Now I need to go. See you in a few days, Kushina said to both of them. Kushina leaves the room and the establishment where she was. And she sets out on a long journey to rescue her son from the council's hands. End of chapter 1. Hi guys, thanks for watching my video. Click like and subscribe. If you liked the fanfic, comment and give your opinion. See you guys in the next video.